Hello everybody, welcome to Scrap Mechanic. So this is a game that's come out on Steam recently, like within the past couple weeks, and it is an amazing looking game. Anyway, I've played about 5 hours of this game now. Me and my brother together have been playing it since my birthday, and I made a car in a different world that was a car that folded up into a box. Sadly, that world was starting to be very laggy. That's one thing that's kind of a downside about the game at this moment, is that it will eventually get to the point where you've just made too many things and it's not able to function quite properly when you load it in. At least that's something I've noticed. But hey, very early access alpha game, so have to kind of excuse it. Anyway, I've been wondering about something, and that is making a sort of motorcycle type thing. Now, an actual motorcycle doesn't really work that well because, well, let me get this bearing put into place here. I'm not really going to be going over the mechanics of this game too much because, well, I'm still learning a lot of the mechanics, and which direction is that rotating? Blue for down. Okay. Alright, still learning a lot of the mechanics of this game, and there's just so many things that you can do with this game already as it is. People have made walkers and elevators and hovercraft and planes and cars that fold into boxes like I did myself. And it's all very cool. I cannot stress enough how cool this game is, especially to those who have a mind for creating just random mechanical contraptions that shouldn't work, but somehow they do. I'm going to connect this engine up to these wheels, because I want to show you why a motorcycle itself doesn't really work. Alright, so that's rotating in the right direction. That one's not. So this one should be the opposite as well. Let's take away this elevator. Okay. I didn't give this thing enough power. Okay, so it looks like we're working fine. We're going straight forward. Nothing really bad is happening. Now, problem is we can't turn, and when we do get to the point where we turn, we fall over, we can't get up. Motorcycle basically is useless, because balance is not something that you can really do. Let me actually modify this thing so we have wheels of some sort. Let's see, I'll just throw these here and we can put the wheels there. Yeah, not really how a motorcycle works, I know, but just deal with it for now, because we're not going to be making a motorcycle anyway. I have no idea if those are turning the right direction or not. I'm assuming that they're not going to be. Yep, they're not. Okay, get that reversed. Take it off the lift. Alright, so here's the problem with turning on the motorcycle. We turn and we just fall over. It doesn't really work that well. Now, it could be that I am just not creative enough to come up with a functioning motorcycle, but I'd rather have a different mode of transportation anyway. We're going to make a hovercycle. And that is going to be an interesting challenge in and of itself, because making a hovercraft in the first place is a difficult challenge in and of itself. So let me strip away some of this stuff, and I'll try to get some basic stuff laid out. Okay, so in order to have a hovercycle, first you need to have a way of hovering. And the best way to do hovering is with this little sensor here. This sensor will detect whenever there's someone in front of it, or when there's an object in front of it. Say like, let's see. With this here, that sensor would be detecting it, and it'd be like, hey, there's something there, I'm activating. I don't know if it's not doing it now because it's on the lift, but if I were to remove this lift, let's see. Yep, there we go. See, it's detecting that there's a block there. If I remove the blocks, it's like, okay, it's clear. There's nothing here for me to see. Undo whatever it is that I'm trying to activate. Now, for the purpose of a hovercycle, what we're wanting to activate would be these little thrusters. Well, not so little. They're actually kind of big. See, just a little bit big. So there's another issue with the hovercycle. We need to have it so that these thrusters are aimed at the ground, which thankfully the lift can lift this thing up pretty high, I might add. Honestly, too high for me to really know what I'm doing, so we're not going to have it that high. Anyway, these things need to be aimed at the ground, but they can't just be pointed at the ground. And I will show you why. Here, let me just throw these 4 thruster. Well, we'll do 3 thrusters because we're going to have a 3 thruster hovercycle. Now, I need to put this sensor on the ground. We actually have to have more than one sensor, really. If I put 3 sensors here, that is going to be so these all are activating at different times. Meaning when one is too far from the ground, it's not going to keep thrusting and flip you over. It's a smart system that way. Oh, I forgot to remove that part too. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay, so we got 3 thrusters here. They're all aimed at the ground. I remove this, and there you see the problem. There is no limiting factor on these thrusters. They're either on or they're not. I also don't think you can really, you can't connect the seat to these sensors. Now you could connect the seats to the thrusters. Let me just undo this. But that's an entirely different problem. First off, the sensors aren't turning them on, so it's not actually hovering. Second, the best you can do is just push the W button, and there we go. There's the thrusters. Anyway, you see that this doesn't work that way, so we need to figure out a way to make this actually kind of balanced. Now, the best way to do with this is, since I keep flipping forward, I obviously would have to bring this further out, which is sensible because that's basically what we're doing with the motorcycle. We're bringing this further out. Actually, there's one thing I need to do quick. There we go. Okay, let's bring it out this far. Lift this thing up. Then reconnect that to the seat. Alright, so now does that flip us over as bad? Not nearly as bad, but here's the other problem. We're now flipping over sideways. And that's not good. So, in order to not flip over sideways, obviously, what you need to do is bring these thrusters out to the side. Let's see, is that about the same? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta make sure we're balanced. Alright, so now how are we for balance? Oops, it would help if I connected the thrusters to the seat. Alright, now we have a little bit too much thrust in the front. So let's try it again. But instead of having it connected to the seat, we will have them connected to the sensors. Stop that. Undo that, and there we go. See, a little bit better now, but very much not stable. So this entire build is going to be about trying to find the correct amount of stability, the angle we need the thrusters, the position we need them, so that we're not flipping all over the place. And that's going to take me a bit of time. Alright, so here's a little experiment that we're going to try. And what if we took these thrusters in the back here and gave them the ability to rotate just a little bit when it starts up? To do that, we need to put a control block here and connect to these little bearings I put in the side here. And let's actually flip that so they're both going to rotate with the same thing. And let's tell them that their default position is 15 degrees to the red. Also, we'll just connect all these to the seat again. And take that away. Now the thrusters are aimed outward a little bit. And if I do this, well, we still have a bit too much thrust in the front now. So since we have too much thrust in the front, we need to counteract that thrust. Now what would be the best way to counter that thrust? Well, maybe if we brought these in just a little bit. Get them more towards the center of mass. It's not any better. Alright, so what if instead of putting straight down here, we bend it up just a little bit? try angling it a full 45. Now this is unfortunately going to put a lot of backwards thrust on us. Ooh. That was actually pretty stable. Pretty stable at first. Okay, let's try hopping on this thing. And we failed. Making a hovercycle is definitely difficult, but it is a lot easier than making a motorcycle. This is actually functioning a bit. I'm surprised. Oh, no, no. And we fell over. See, this is what I love about this game. All the fun experimentation and just trying to think how to make things work. Now, what probably would be a better idea for me to do is simply just take this, extend it out farther, like 6 blocks farther, and this one's 6 blocks farther, and maybe back just a wee bit to counter the fact that this thing is up so far forward, and just have it a more stable triangle shape than what it currently is, but that takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it? However, I am definitely willing to give that a try. Still, this does look pretty fun, doesn't it? The fact that I made it thrust so far backwards it's kind of funny to me. Stop going backwards. Ow. And fell over. Alright. So I'm going to try messing around with this a little bit off camera, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay? Okay. I shall name it the Whiplasher. Okay, that was a failed experiment. Alright, so I've been working at trying to make this thing more stable, more balanced. Not really having the best of luck with that. You might be wondering why I have part of it made of wood. Well, in this game, materials actually do have different weights, with metal being like between 4 and 6 times heavier than wood. Alright, so this is how I had it before I tried adding more thrusters, and it is a fairly stable iteration. But the problem I'm having is that the front thruster is hitting the ground. And we don't really want that. But we don't want any thruster hitting the ground, and they're all kind of doing that, but see, we are so close to having a hovercycle that actually works. Let's start out over flat terrain, so it's a little bit better. So I feel I might have made this a little bit too light now because it's acting a lot more erratic than it was when it was made completely of metal. So I'm gonna try adding metal back here. A little bit better, not quite there though. Okay, so that pushes forward, turns right, turns left. Let's see what comes about from this. Okay, we are not really in control of anything here. And we have flipped. I feel like we're making good attempts, but we're just not quite there. And this thruster is not able to counteract the drifting that we're experiencing when we're going around hills. It's very hard pressed to actually make us turn. Okay, so all of that flips. So what if I were to attach those there, hook them up to the steering column, alright, that should be the correct direction that it turns. And then if I were to put the thrusters right here, now this shouldn't actually work, but actually this rotates out of the way, so it would actually work. You know what? We're gonna try it. Although think about, if I were to put these on, it wouldn't work, would it? Only one way to find out. Let's try connecting these all to the steering column. Yeah, that's what I thought. They all activate when you press forward. Okay, so let's just try it as is. Well, we have a little bit better control than what we had before, but there is not very much control whatsoever with this thing. No, don't get out. We've made several good attempts. But I'm wondering if it might be more practical for me to add some turning capability to the downward thrusters as well, or if that would just be complete suicide on my part. Only one really way to find out. If I were to take this all off, attach this right here, put the blocks back in place, and then the thruster back where it belongs. Pretty sure I need to reverse that. Alright, let's give this a try. Well, that's not the direction that thing should be flipping. I must have... Alright, this is significantly better. Oh! Hey, we have control! I've done it. I've made a controllable hover bike. Alright, now I just need to fix that little bug I just did there. I thought I switched one of those around. We've done it. We have a hover bike. Ha! Brilliant! It could look better, yes. And it does self-right when you flip it, at least. It does have some difficulties trying to drive, I will admit. But overall, this has been a real success. Oh. Careful, careful. I love this game. Alright, so this is the first Scrap Mechanic video I've ever done, and if you guys liked this video, and you like this hover bike design, feel free to copy this design. I will show you the controller in just a moment for how to make this thing actually function. And if you have any improvements on this design, please make a video if you can, or tell me the designs, something. Pictures would be nice too. And I seem to have caused a... I am now stuck in the ground. Let's get that out of there. Alright. So if you like this folding hovercraft design, you are free to copy it as much as you wish. I will try to give you as good a view of it as I can. This part here probably not necessary, but it exists for if you want to, I don't know, put a box there or something. And the controls are, well, let me get out the thing. So 1 and 2 control the folding part of this, of the back thrusters. They just rotate 180. 3 and 4 control the thrusters folding out to the side, and they rotate 30 degrees. 5 and 6 are simply the platform that these are on, as you can see here. 7 and 8 control the thrusters angling backwards. They go 15 degrees. 9 and 10 control the front thrusters position. Rotates at 90 degrees for this joint right here to bring it further forward, and then 75 degrees so that the front thrusters angled just a little bit down at the ground. So if you want to build this yourself, feel free to. I do not care. I don't even care if you credit me. But give this video a like if you have liked this video. Subscribe if you want to see more Scrap Mechanic contraptions I come up with in the future. And maybe even share this on social media or something. I don't know. Take care, guys. Ta-ta and goodbye. To the moon! utter failure.